My toddler has officially entered her picky eating phase, so I'm sharing the recipe she actually eats, just in case you're a mom in the trenches too. If you're new here, welcome. This is a space for the cozy girls, especially the moms committed to consciously loving themselves and their little ones. So far in this series, we've made a nutrient-dense one-pot pilau and a veggie-filled Japanese curry. Today I want to tackle another side of picky eating, texture sensitivity. Let's get cozy and make my 30-minute congee. For this congee, we're going to need 2 cups of cooked rice, 1 can of fish. I'm using tuna, but you can also use salmon or mackerel. I just like to make sure it's canned fish because that's one less thing for me to cook. If you don't like fish, you can substitute for mushrooms. 1 vegetable. I'm using carrots, but you can also use zucchini or cabbage. And finally, 6 green onion stalks. If your toddler doesn't like different colors in their foods, you can substitute for white or yellow onions. Then the flavorings. 1 tablespoon of bouillon, which you can substitute for miso paste, and then half to 1 tablespoon each of soy sauce, sesame oil, and Shaoxing wine. If you don't have Shaoxing wine, you can also use rice vinegar. Also some furikake if your toddler likes toppings on their congee. To ensure this congee takes no more than 30 minutes, we're going to prep and clean as we go. We start by adding 2 cups of cooked rice and 6 cups of water to a pot. I like a 1:2 ratio because I like my congee on the thicker side. You can also freeze uncooked rice overnight for a silkier texture. You'll just need to add more water when cooking. We turn the heat to medium-high, and once the rice is boiling, we can turn the heat down to a simmer. In the meantime, we can prep our veggies. My toddler doesn't do so well with a variety of textures in one meal, so I like to grate the carrot so that it melts into the congee. I add the carrots to the pot and then get started on my green onions. I grow green onions at home by placing the roots in a jar of water and then changing the water every couple days. They grow beautifully in the winter time, and every time I need green onions, I just have to cut off a few stalks. I slice the stalks fairly thin and then add them to the pot as well. So far the congee has been simmering for about 5 minutes and it needs another 10 minutes, which means I have enough time to sneak away and brush my teeth and do my skincare. I love cooking meals that have breaks in the middle, especially as a mom, because there's always something you've forgotten that you end up needing to do right in the middle of cooking. Once the congee has been simmering for a total of 10 minutes, it's time to add in some flavor. I start with the bouillon and can of tuna. As I was stirring these into the congee, I noticed some scum collecting on the surface, so I gently skimmed that off the top into the sink and covered the pot to let the congee simmer for another 5 minutes. While the congee was simmering, I put away some of the tools I didn't need anymore and washed the dishes I used. And then it was time to add the soy sauce, sesame oil, and Shaoxing wine. I left the congee to simmer for another 5 minutes so the flavors could marry. And cleaned my countertops in the meantime. The congee has now been simmering for 20 minutes altogether, and it's the texture I like, so I'm ready to whisk. One of my friends taught me that whisking your congee at the end helps to break down the rice even further, leading to a really creamy texture. And there you have it. The congee is ready to serve. My toddler likes her congee just as it is, or with some furikake. Today I'm going to top mine off with an egg and some furikake. I would rate this 9 out of 10. The only reason it's not 10 out of 10 is because my toddler isn't always in the mood for congee. Prior to 18 months, congee was one of her favorite foods, but recently she will refuse it 10% of the time. It still has a 90% success rate, so in my opinion, definitely worth the risk. For me, congee is such a comforting meal to enjoy, especially during the colder months. I love having it for breakfast. It just sets my day up for a cozy start. I hope you try this congee out. If you're looking for a meal prep plan catered to your family's unique needs, I'd love to support you. You can check out my one-on-one coaching sessions at the link in the description below. Otherwise, stay cozy and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!